A couple of years ago, we were trying to figure out what game we're going to work on next, and the idea to make a documentary came from Two Player Productions, who was a documentary group, and they wanted to make a documentary about us, and so they wanted to Kickstart it, and we're like, what's Kickstarter? We didn't know what it was, and but we decided to go trust them and try it out, but also kickstart a game as well, so we'd have something that was free and clear of any obligations, that we could film any part of it that we wanted. And we ended up making $3.4 million from that. It was this affirmation of how much the fans cared. They really wanted this thing to happen, and they were willing to give us the money in advance, not even knowing what kind of game we were going to make, except for that it was this adventure game.
So Tim was like, all right, we have to make this game. There was no idea, no story, just during the Kickstarter in the video, he's like, we don't even have an idea yet. We just want to make a 2D adventure game. And the idea with Broken Age was to kind of do it in my style. It's like really surreal, kind of with just weird kind of imagery. The first few months of when the Kickstarter was going, I was just sending Tim stupid sketches and basically just little comics, little images with writing, just random game ideas. And he was always busy, and I'd get an email from him once a week, oh, this is cool, send me more of this is cool. And then that all ended. Tim got an idea, started writing, and then kind of we have the whole idea, and then it's all scheduling, how much painting we have to do, how much writing Tim has to do, how much programming and stuff I have no idea about goes into it. Probably a lot of programming.
When we started Broken Age, one of the ideas that we were toying with was this idea that, hey, maybe we'll paint all these scenes as actual oil on canvas, because one of the inspirations was Bagel's fine art. But and that was kind of a cool idea, but ultimately the problem there is that you get locked into one artist painting a canvas. And you also lose your ability to iterate, because it's one layer. You kind of get one go, and if you mess up an oil, you can wipe it down and repaint, but can be a slow process, And then also when you're working with a team of production painters, digital work allows you to kind of look more closely at what someone did as a guideline. You can even sort of copy something as a basis for a new element and kind of paint on top of that to kind of make sure you're staying within the kind of overall painting style. And then we can share our digital brushes, which also further helps keep it that way. So one of the things that we did is that when we got to kind of the final polish stage, we made sure that Bagel went back in and spent a little time with each of the paintings, just touching a few things up. We called it the Bagel glaze, just a little glaze at the top. It just kind of subtly pushes it back into the style, even though the majority of that scene he probably didn't paint. Those techniques worked really well, and they would not have been possible if we were working an analog means. My favorite thing in creating video games is helping make a world that feels like a realized world. As strange as they are, they still can actually feel like a realized space, that have a sense of life or rules or history all their own. I hope more than anything else people feel like they can be transported to those places and get that.